What's up, you guys? Back again with another video. Today we're doing a video request. The video was requested by World War II Freak 13. Thank you so much for the video request, guys. I've been very responsive in the comments. If you guys have any questions, you want to see other videos, like I said, please let me know. I've been able to have time to make as many videos as I have been making, but when I get busy again, they might be a little bit, more stagnant. But right now I'm trying to pump out as many videos as I can to help as many people as I can. But today we're going to be going over how to do the horse collar bedroll. Probably has a different term, or you've heard it called a bunch of different things, but as soon as we're done doing it, it's going to be the thing that you think it is. But what you're going to need in order to perform this is, obviously, you're going to need a haversack. You're going to need stuff inside of the haversack, basically fully loaded the way that you would for any event. Right now I just have a tanker jacket in there just to make it look full, but I have my shovel and I have my meat can pouch inside of the meat can, because you need a full haversack in order to perform this effectively. You can't do it with an empty haversack. Next, I have two pieces of rope. I have two about the same size pieces of rope, and then I got one really long piece of rope. And then for this, I'm just doing it with one blanket because I didn't want to rip apart my blanket roll in order to just do this video, because it is a little bit of a pain in the butt to make bed rolls and make hobo rolls and stuff, so I just kind of wanted to give you the basic premise of what you needed to do, but without ripping apart my stuff. But we'll get started. Alright guys, so let's get started, like I said. So we're going to take the blanket. Like I said, this is only one blanket, but the premise is still the same. You need to make whatever material that you're trying to make the horseshoe collar with, like a tube. I started off with the tube. You guys can basically figure this out. This is not very difficult, but if you are using a lot of materials, like you're using like two shelter halves or one shelter half and three blankets or two blankets or whatever, it is going to make the process a little bit more difficult. So do keep that in mind if you are doing a horseshoe collar with your haversack. But we start off, we got our nice little tube. Before we even start tying and everything, we want to take our haversack, and we basically just want to measure it accordingly to see if it's even going to fit properly on the haversack. So take the haversack, you're going to rest it like so that the blanket roll is right behind the shovel cover. And then you basically just want to measure it. Can't really see it right now, but this is a good length for us. You could see multiple different pictures of guys with super long ones, super short ones. It varied significantly, because there wasn't really an exact science to this. It was basically what works for you, like a lot of reenacting and a lot of soldiering is. So basically, as long as it was pretty much squared away, you did it right. So we're going to measure it. We measured it. Now we're going to move on to the next step. Okay guys, so our next step is we've measured it. We've decided that it's a nice length for us. It's a good length. So now we're going to take our two pieces of rope. Before you even tie the rope on, you need to do a few different things with the rope. This is what I do. Other people probably have a different way of doing it, but this is what works for me. So I take one piece of the rope and I knot it off at one end. And then I take another piece of the rope, the other piece of the rope. This is still the same piece of rope, but the other end of the rope. And I make a loop, just like this. Nice strong loop. It's not going anywhere, not like a slip knot or anything. And this is what I basically do, because in this situation I can wrench it down nice and tight, and it's not going to come loose on me because I know that I've wrenched it down. And you'll see what I mean by wrenching it down right here. So you're going to take one piece of the rope, the loop piece of the rope. Obviously this is a super long rope because I'm usually doing it with thicker materials when I make my bed roll, when I make my blanket roll. Take the loop piece of the rope, take this piece, put it through it, pull out all the slack, then basically you got something like that. What I do is I'll wrench it down nice and tight, and then I'll just start making a very simple loop all around the rope. I mean, all around the blanket roll, or the roll. And basically do that all the way around, nice and tight. And then when I get to the end, to make my life easier when I'm in the field, I just take this piece of rope, take one of the other pieces of rope that I've already wrapped it around, put it through, and then I take this, and just do a simple little knot. And if you have access like this, you can just shove it in, just so it's a little bit neater. But like I said, there's no real exact science to this. This is just how I do it. So we did that to one side. Obviously, we do it to the other side. So we'll go do that right now. Okay guys, we're back. We did it to both sides of the rope. I mean, of the blanket roll. Basically, like I said in the very beginning of the video, it doesn't matter how much material you're using. The premise is still the same. If this is super thick and it's not fitting over your haversack, you don't have enough rope, you gotta basically figure that out. Obviously, it's gonna be super simple. I'm using one blanket. It's super thin and it's super flexible, but if you're working with more material, just do keep in mind it is gonna be a little bit more difficult to maneuver the blanket roll, which ultimately was why I ended up not using that for the Hurtkin reenactment. I ended up going back to the hobo roll. But all right, now we're gonna take the haversack. Take the haversack, lay it over like so. Just, you see what I mean by measuring it up? You kind of want it even on both sides. And this looks pretty good, so we'll move on to the next step. Okay guys, so here's the next step. Basically, we have everything laid over, it looks nice, it's even, it's nice and tight. Obviously, when you're doing this, the more compact you can make the roll, the better it's gonna be for you in the long run, because it's not gonna be flapping and waving and looking all, you know, screwed up. But now we're gonna take this next piece of rope. This next piece of rope, I don't remember if I said, definitely needs to be longer than these two pieces of rope because it's going to be doing a significant amount of wrapping in this process. So we're going to take the same principle as the other ones. We're going to do the knot, we're going to do the loop on the one end and then the knot on the other. And what I basically do is I take this piece of rope, it's a lot of rope, probably don't have to use this much, but I usually just bring a lot of rope because rope's super utilitarian. You can use it for whatever you want at a reenactment. You're gonna take basically same exact principle like when we were wrapping up the blanket roll. Basically, you're just gonna do it one more time. Make sure it's nice and tight, nice and wrenched down, like I said. Then you're gonna take this, you're gonna do a loop. One more loop, and then what I usually do is I take this piece of rope. You can even do like a little overhandy thing where now the knot is on this side instead of trying to fight with it on that side. But now it's nice and tight. We got rid of a little bit of the slack. Now we're going to take this piece of rope, we're going to feed it underneath the meat can pouch, like so. Obviously you want to even that out. Take it, put it underneath the meat can pouch. Take it over here. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap it once, wrap it twice. Nothing about this is an exact science. But you make a little loop, put this over here, wrench it down, nice and tight. Now it's starting to take form basically. Even it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it. Now it's on its back. And I'll show you guys a better angle of this right now. So basically what you do now, you have the meat can pouch, you have the haversack facing flat, you know, with the meat can pouch down towards the ground. It's a little bit hard to do with one hand. You've basically made your haversack into a backpack at this point. You know, you leave these two front straps loose. and you take this one and connect it down here to these D-rings. Now, like I said, a little difficult with one hand. You're going to take this piece of rope and you're going to feed it underneath the strap. You see what I did there? You're going to feed it underneath the strap. You're going to do the same thing with the next strap. Feed it underneath this strap. So when you're wearing the haversack, you're obviously going to feel this rope in your back, but it's really not going to be that big of a pain. But it's not pulling these straps down up against the haversack so that you can't wear it like a backpack. If you're underneath the straps, you did it right. So we'll finish this up and then we'll come back. All right, guys. So basically what we've done from that step on is we've wrapped it a few times around the back of the pack, just like this. Now we're up to the very end. So you come to the end. I usually do is I do another little loopy knot thing. I'm obviously not great with names of stuff, but something very simple, something I know I'm going to be able to find easily, because once you're able to take this little knot out, everything just comes undone for the most part. That's the one thing about the horseshoe collar, is if you make it too complicated, then it's going to make your life too complicated. What I'll do is I'll put it on one side. I know it's going to be on there. All right, my knot is right there. I'm going to shove the axis in there, so when I want to take everything off, I just pull this out, pull up on this, and then just start unwrapping. And basically, there you go. That's about it. So that's our finished product. Looks pretty good. Obviously, a lot of rope, but you need the rope. You need the rope in order to, perform this effectively. Having more rope than less rope is always going to be super helpful in the field, because you never know if you're going to need it. And I'll slap it on. I'll show you the finished product. You see how I can just put the straps through nice and easy. Put it up on my back. It's comfortable, obviously, because there's not a lot of stuff in my pack right now. I literally only have one blanket and one jacket. But you put a lot of stuff on your pack, it's obviously going to be a little bit more difficult, a little bit more heavy. But show you the back side view, the back view, and that's about it. You see a lot of guys, usually they have this clipped. They could hang stuff off of that. You see guys sometimes, I've seen original footage of guys putting literally grenades right here, having it hang like that. But yeah, that's it. Guys, I really hope you liked the video. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to do as many videos as I can before I get busy again. And tried a little new thing. I hope the editing worked out. And guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.